Chosen one. This moment is not random, and this message did not find you by chance. Heaven arranged this encounter before you ever pressed play, and the timing is exact because God is speaking now. What you are sensing in your spirit is confirmation that a season has shifted, and the war that followed you into the night has been brought to a close. The pressure you carried was not punishment, but proof that you were standing at the edge of something holy and powerful. Chosen one, you are not merely surviving anymore. You are being repositioned. What once resisted you is now releasing you, and what once blocked you is now bowing. Scripture reminds us that the vision waits for an appointed time, and though it lingered, it did not fail, as written in Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3. This is that appointed time. The delay was never denial, it was alignment. Anointed One, heaven is announcing elevation, not gradual but sudden, not earned by striving but released by obedience. The same God who promised that no weapon formed against you would prosper is now declaring that the battle has ended and authority has been restored. You are standing at the threshold of supernatural breakthrough, divine transfer, and heaven-sent transformation. Receive this word with reverence. Open your spirit. The war is over, and what comes next will change everything. Chosen one, hear this slowly and let it settle into your spirit. The war did not end because you finally got stronger. It ended because heaven stepped in and said enough. What you have been walking through was never a sign of failure or weakness. It was evidence that your life carries weight in the unseen. I say this as someone who has lived through seasons where the pressure made no sense, where prayers felt unanswered, and where the resistance felt personal and relentless. Looking back now, I understand something I could not see then. The intensity was never about breaking me. It was about revealing what I was carrying. Chosen one. The warfare you endured was attached to your assignment. People who carry nothing are left alone. People with no future impact are not monitored. But when your life is marked to shift atmospheres, restore families, and unlock provision for others, resistance increases. That is not opinion. That is spiritual law. I remember nights where peace felt unreachable, where finances were under pressure, where relationships were strained all at once. It felt coordinated, layered, and exhausting. Now I know it was. But here is the revelation that changes everything. Those attacks only had permission for a season, and that season has expired. Anointed One, heaven does not allow endless warfare. There are boundaries even in the unseen. What you were under had a limit, and that limit has been reached. You are not imagining the shift you feel right now. The heaviness lifting the clarity, returning the quiet confidence rising inside you. That is not emotional relief. That is authority being restored. The same way a storm suddenly stops when the wind changes direction, your spiritual climate has shifted. You are no longer fighting to survive. You are being positioned to lead, to build, and to receive. Chosen one. Let me ground this in reality for a moment. Think about how a bank protects what is valuable. They do not assign guards to empty rooms. They protect vaults. In the same way, the pressure you faced was confirmation of value. The enemy does not waste energy on empty lives. He studies patterns, waits for timing, and strikes when he sees what is coming. But what he never accounts for is endurance. You did not quit. You did not abandon faith. You kept moving even when progress was invisible. That persistence is what triggered heaven's response. There were moments you questioned yourself, moments you wondered if you missed something, if you did something wrong, or if the delay meant denial. I have been there. I have stood in places where obedience felt costly and silence felt loud, but later I realized that delay was not punishment, it was preparation. What looked like resistance was actually refinement. Heaven was shaping your discernment, strengthening your authority, and deepening your trust, so that when the doors opened, you would not collapse under the weight of what was coming. Chosen one. The war ended because the lesson was complete, the endurance was proven, the authority was forged. Heaven does not release promotion without preparation. What is ahead of you requires stability, clarity, and humility. That is why the pressure came from multiple angles. Mind, peace, finances, relationships. Not to destroy you, but to train you. Every weapon formed against you failed not because it was weak, but because it was not allowed to succeed. Anointed one. I want you to understand this deeply. You are not stepping back into normal life. You are stepping into a new posture. From defense to dominance, from reaction to intention, from surviving days to stewarding purpose. The shift you are entering will show up practically. Conversations will change. Opportunities will feel aligned instead of forced. Provision will come through channels you did not chase. That is how heaven-backed movement works. It flows, it does not strain. Chosen one, take a breath here. Let your spirit catch up with the truth. The war is over, and what comes next will require you to see yourself differently. Not as someone who barely made it, but as someone who was trained in fire and came out refined. Stay here with me. In the next segment, we will uncover what the enemy was trying to delay and why what he fought hardest is exactly what God is about to release into your hands. Chosen one. There is a truth many never realize until the pressure lifts, and it is this: the enemy does not attack what is irrelevant. He studies what carries momentum, what is aligned with timing, and what is close to manifestation. That is why the warfare intensified right before the shift. You were not being punished, you were being measured. Every delay, every closed door, every moment of confusion was testing whether you would abandon your posture or remain aligned even when clarity was withheld. I have lived through seasons where nothing made sense outwardly, yet inwardly something insisted that staying faithful mattered more than understanding. That insistence was not stubbornness, it was discernment being trained. Chosen one. The resistance you faced was not random chaos. It was calculated interruption. The enemy saw doors preparing to open that would alter your trajectory, and he attempted to exhaust you before you arrived there. Fatigue is his favorite tactic because tired people make desperate agreements. They lower standards, compromise values, and accept substitutes for what heaven intended. But you did not surrender your identity. You may have questioned yourself, but you did not abandon who you are. That alone disqualified the assignment against you. There is a reason the pressure touched multiple areas at once. When peace is attacked, finances, strained relationships, tested and purpose blurred simultaneously, it is an attempt to fragment focus. I remember days where it felt like holding water in my hands. No matter how tightly I closed my fingers, something kept leaking. What I did not know then was that heaven was teaching me where my strength actually came from. Not from control, not from certainty, but from trust, anchored deeper than circumstance. That same lesson was being written into you. Chosen. 1. The enemy wanted delay, not destruction. Destruction draws attention, but delay drains hope quietly. He wanted you to believe that nothing was happening, that prayers were ineffective, that obedience was pointless. Yet unseen progress was accelerating beneath the surface. Roots were growing where fruit could not yet be seen. Character was being reinforced where capacity would soon be required. When the time came, you would not only receive what was promised, you would be able to sustain it. Think about how many times you almost gave up, not loudly but internally. The silent resignation that whispers, maybe this is as far as it goes. Those moments mattered. Heaven was watching whether you would continue to show up, even without applause or confirmation. That kind of faith carries weight. It is not loud belief, it is quiet endurance. It is choosing alignment when no one is validating your direction. That endurance shifted something in the unseen. Chosen one. There is also something personal here that needs to be spoken plainly. The warfare revealed areas that needed strengthening, not to shame you, but to prepare you. Weak points are not sins, they are invitations to growth. Heaven does not expose vulnerabilities to condemn, but to fortify. What felt like repeated pressure in the same areas was actually precision training. Each time you stood again, something within you became less reactive and more anchored. As the attack weakened, you may have noticed subtle changes. Your reactions softened, your discernment sharpened, your tolerance for chaos diminished. That is evidence of authority returning. Authority does not arrive loudly, it settles quietly. It brings peace without explanation and confidence without arrogance. This is the posture you are being restored into now. Chosen one, understand this carefully. When warfare ends, responsibility increases. Peace is not permission to disengage, it is an invitation to build. What you are stepping into will require intentional choices, guarded thoughts, and aligned words. Heaven has cleared resistance, but stewardship is now in your hands. This is not pressure, it is trust. I say this not as theory, but from lived experience. Every season of intense opposition in my life was followed by a season where my decisions carried greater consequence. Opportunities came faster, doors opened wider, influence expanded quietly. Without the prior refining, I would have mishandled what arrived. The war ending was not just relief, it was preparation completing. Chosen one. The shift you are sensing is real. You are not returning to who you were before the battle. You are moving forward as someone altered by endurance. The assignment could not continue because you outgrew it. The resistance expired because it no longer matched who you have become. Let that settle. You did not escape the war, you outlasted it. Stay present in this moment. Let your breathing slow. Let your spirit absorb what has changed. The quiet you feel now is not emptiness, it is space being made. Space for alignment, for clarity, and for movement that does not require force. What has ended needed to end, and what is beginning will unfold with precision, not panic. You are still standing still, aligned and still chosen, and that is why the war could not follow you any further. Remain steady, remain humble, remain listening, because timing, alignment, and obedience now move together forward. Chosen one. When a season of warfare ends, the most dangerous mistake is assuming everything will simply return to normal. There is no normal to return to. You were altered in the fire, shaped under pressure, and refined through endurance. The person who entered the battle is not the same person standing here now. That is why heaven did not just stop the resistance, it repositioned you. What you are sensing as stillness is not emptiness, it is recalibration. Your spirit is adjusting to a new level of authority, and authority always requires awareness. I learned this the hard way. There was a time when I thought peace meant rest from responsibility, only to discover that peace actually demands higher discernment, because distractions become subtler when chaos is removed. Chosen one, the enemy's loud attacks failed, so his final attempt is quiet suggestion. He will not roar now. He will whisper. He will try to convince you that nothing really changed, that this peace is temporary, that you should remain guarded as if the war is still active. But remaining in defense when heaven has moved you into authority creates inner conflict. You were not freed to live cautiously, you were freed to live consciously. That difference matters. Authority is not about force, it is about alignment. It is knowing when to speak, when to move, and when to stay still without fear driving any of it. There is a reason your thoughts are being highlighted right now. You may notice old memories resurfacing, past failures trying to replay, or moments where doubt attempts to re-enter quietly. This is not regression, it is exposure. Anything that no longer belongs must surface before it leaves permanently. I remember seasons where just as things improved, my mind tried to pull me backward. That was not weakness, it was transition. The mind always tries to return to familiar patterns, even when those patterns are painful. But you are no longer bound to what is familiar. You are being trained to choose what is aligned. Chosen one, take this seriously. What you agree with internally shapes what you experience externally. Words spoken under pressure may have been forgiven, but words spoken under authority must be intentional. Heaven has shifted your position, and now your language carries more weight. Complaints that once went unnoticed will now drain momentum. Faith spoken casually will now accelerate outcomes. This is not superstition, it is stewardship. When authority increases, so does impact. That is why alignment of thought, speech, and action is critical now. There is also something deeply personal happening in this transition. The war stripped away illusions. People you relied on may have fallen away. Systems you trusted may have failed you. At the time, it felt like loss, but in truth, it was simplification. Heaven removed dependencies that could not follow you forward. I have watched this happen repeatedly. Relationships that were comfortable but limiting dissolved. Opportunities that looked promising but lacked integrity disappeared. At the time it hurt, but later it became obvious that what left made room for what could stay. Chosen one. The silence after warfare is sacred. Do not rush to fill it with noise, opinions, or external validation. This is where clarity settles. This is where identity stabilizes. When chaos ends, many people panic because they confuse peace with stagnation. But peace is not stillness without purpose. It is stillness with direction. Let your decisions slow down. Let your reactions soften. Let discernment lead where urgency once ruled. You may feel a pull to isolate slightly, not out of fear, but out of discernment. Honor that. Not everyone can interpret what you carry now. Not everyone needs access to your processing. There is a difference between secrecy and protection. Protection is wisdom. Even Jesus withdrew after intense moments, not because he was weak, but because alignment requires solitude at times. Do not apologize for guarding what heaven just restored. Chosen one. This is also the moment where gratitude becomes a weapon. Gratitude is not denial of hardship, it is recognition of victory. When you give thanks before full manifestation, you declare trust in the process. I have seen gratitude collapse resistance faster than force ever could. Praise confuses the enemy because it signals confidence before evidence. That is why thanksgiving accelerates what is already in motion. You are not being asked to perform. You are being invited to remain aligned. Wake up each day acknowledging that the war is over, not as a chant, but as a posture. Move through conversations without fear. Make decisions without panic. Rest without guilt. These are signs of authority returning. When peace feels unfamiliar, remind yourself that unfamiliar does not mean unsafe. It means new. Chosen one. The ending of the war is not the climax. It is the clearing. The ground is now ready. The noise has stopped. The pressure has lifted. What grows next will grow quickly because the soil has been prepared through endurance. Stay attentive, stay grounded, stay surrendered. Nothing needs to be forced now. What belongs to you will find you in alignment, not in striving. And that is how you will know the war truly ended, not because everything is perfect, but because fear no longer has permission to lead. Chosen one. Now that the battlefield has quieted, you may begin to notice movement that feels different from anything before. It will not arrive with chaos or urgency. It will come with precision. Conversations will align without manipulation. Opportunities will present themselves without pressure. Provision will flow through unexpected channels. This is how heaven confirms a shift. Not through noise, but through alignment that feels steady, grounded, and unmistakably intentional. I have learned that when something is truly sent by heaven, it does not require convincing. It carries its own peace. There is a reason the war had to end before this movement could begin. You cannot build while constantly defending. You cannot steward abundance while constantly bracing for loss. Heaven first had to silence the assault, so your nervous system, your mind and your spirit could recalibrate to receiving. Many people pray for breakthrough, but are still conditioned for survival. That mismatch delays manifestation. What you are experiencing now is recalibration. Your capacity to receive is expanding to match what is being released. Chosen one. Understand that divine provision is not always dramatic. Sometimes it is subtle consistency replacing chronic instability. Sometimes it is one door opening that leads to several others naturally. Sometimes it is clarity returning so you stop wasting energy in places that never served you. Wealth, whether spiritual or material, often begins as discernment. Knowing where not to invest time, emotion, or effort is as important as knowing where to pour in. I want to speak honestly here. There were times in my life when I thought abundance would arrive as a sudden rescue, only to discover that heaven often delivers abundance through responsibility. You are trusted now. Trusted with insight, with influence, with resources, with timing. Trust is heavier than blessing because it requires integrity to sustain it. That is why the refining was necessary. What you carry next must be handled with wisdom, not impulse. Chosen one, you may notice an increased sensitivity to environments, conversations, and energy. Things that once felt neutral may now feel draining. This is not arrogance, it is discernment sharpening. Your spirit is learning to recognize alignment quickly. Honor that. Do not force yourself to stay where peace withdraws. Peace is your compass now. If it leaves, pay attention. That does not mean avoid challenge, but it does mean avoid chaos that produces nothing. As movement increases, temptation will shift form. It will not look like attack, it will look like distraction, busy schedules, unnecessary commitments, emotional entanglements that drain focus. These are not sins, they are diversions. Guard your time, guard your attention. What you are stepping into requires presence. Fragmented focus weakens authority faster than opposition ever could. Chosen one. This is also where humility becomes essential. Authority without humility becomes isolation. Gratitude keeps the channel open. Remember where you came from, not with shame, but with reverence. Remember the nights you prayed quietly. Remember the moments you almost quit. Let that memory anchor compassion, not fear. The more heaven entrusts you with, the more others will be drawn to what you carry, and compassion must lead influence. There will be people who notice the shift before you do. They may comment on your calm, your clarity, your confidence. Accept it without pride and without denial. Acknowledge that something has changed because it has. The war refined you, but the peace reveals you. What was forged under pressure is now visible under rest. Chosen one, let me say this clearly. Acceleration does not mean recklessness. When things begin to move faster, resist the urge to rush decisions. Speed in heaven is different from speed in the world. Heaven moves efficiently, not frantically. Stay aligned. Ask before acting. Listen before committing. This is not fear, it is wisdom. As doors open, some will close themselves naturally. Do not chase what is leaving. Do not resurrect what has expired. Grace does not cling, it releases. The fact that something ends easily now is evidence that resistance is no longer required. Flow replaces force. Chosen one. What you are entering is not just a blessing, it is a stewardship season. Stewardship of peace, stewardship of clarity, stewardship of provision, stewardship of influence. None of it requires striving. It requires awareness. Remain surrendered, remain teachable, remain grounded in gratitude. The war ended because it could not follow you into this season. The terrain has changed, the rules have changed, you have changed. What comes next will not need defending the way the past did. It will need nurturing wisdom and consistency. Let your posture reflect trust, not fear. Let your pace reflect confidence, not urgency. Heaven has done its part. Stay aligned, stay present, and let what has already been set in motion unfold naturally. Chosen one. There is a phase that comes after resistance breaks, but before momentum becomes visible, and this is often the most misunderstood part of the journey. It is the space where nothing seems dramatic on the outside, yet everything is being rearranged on the inside. Many expect fireworks when warfare ends, but heaven often chooses silence instead. That silence is not absence, it is precision. It is the sound of systems resetting, of pressure releasing, and of authority settling into place. Reopening your eyes in this season requires discernment, not urgency, because what is happening now cannot be rushed without being disrupted. Chosen one. The enemy fought hard because he recognized the timing attached to your life. He did not attack randomly. He attacked rhythm, confidence, peace, and identity, because those are the foundations required to steward what is next. If he could fracture your inner alignment, he could delay external manifestation, but delay is all he could attempt. Destruction was never an option. You endured because endurance was the requirement for promotion. I remember learning this slowly, realizing that what felt like opposition was actually refinement. Refinement is never comfortable, but it is always intentional. There is a reason you were asked to stand longer than you thought you could. Authority that collapses under pressure cannot hold expansion. Heaven was not testing your loyalty, it was strengthening your capacity. Every moment you stayed aligned without answers increased your ability to remain steady when answers arrive quickly. That steadiness matters now. What is coming will move faster than what you have known, and speed without stability creates loss. Stability without speed creates stagnation. Heaven has been building both within you. Chosen one. You may still feel echoes of the war in your thoughts, not because it continues, but because your mind learned survival patterns that now need updating. This is normal. When pressure lifts the body and mind do not immediately trust it. They wait, they observe, they scan. Be patient with yourself here. Do not interpret this as lack of faith. It is integration. The part of you that learned to endure is learning how to rest. That takes time. There may be moments when peace feels unfamiliar, almost uncomfortable. You might find yourself expecting something to go wrong simply because nothing is. This is not intuition, it is conditioning. Gently remind yourself that you are safe to settle now, safe to breathe, safe to plan without bracing, safe to imagine a future not shaped by resistance. Settling into peace is an act of trust, not passivity. Chosen. One, understand that the end of warfare does not mean the end of responsibility. It means responsibility changes shape. You are no longer responsible for fighting what was opposing you. You are responsible for stewarding what is now being released. Stewardship requires awareness, not anxiety. It requires intention, not tension. The shift from warrior to steward is significant. Warriors focus on defense. Stewards focus on cultivation. What you are entering now must be cultivated gently and consistently. I want to speak honestly from lived experience. When pressure ended in my life, I initially tried to move too fast, afraid that if I slowed down, things would collapse again. That fear was a residue of survival. But what I learned is that what is sustained by alignment does not require force to continue. When something is built on peace, it remains stable, even when you rest. Let that truth anchor you now. Chosen one. There is also a relational recalibration happening. Some people who stood with you during warfare may not understand you in peace. Their role was to support endurance, not expansion. This does not make them unimportant. It simply means seasons change access. Allow relationships to adjust naturally without guilt or resentment. What aligns will remain. What does not will release itself. You may feel a growing desire for clarity over complexity, simplicity over excess, depth over noise. This is not withdrawal from life. It is refinement of focus. Heaven often simplifies before it multiplies. Removing what is unnecessary creates space for what is essential. Pay attention to what your spirit is drawn toward now. That attraction is not random. It is alignment revealing itself. Chosen one. The quietness of this phase is deceptive. It can look like nothing is happening when in truth, everything is being prepared. Think of a seed beneath the soil. No movement above ground does not mean no growth below it. Growth underground determines what can stand above it later. What is forming in you now will support what appears next without collapse. There is no need to announce this season or explain it to everyone. Some processes are meant to remain internal until they mature. Protect what is tender. Guard what is forming. This is not secrecy. It is wisdom. Even Jesus withdrew at certain times, not because he was uncertain, but because alignment requires space. Chosen one, remain present. Do not rush to label what is happening. Let it unfold. Let peace settle fully before you attempt to accelerate. Acceleration will come, but it must come from alignment, not impatience. Trust the timing. Trust the process. Trust the wisdom being formed through stillness. What ended needed to end. What remains is being refined. What is coming will arrive without resistance because the resistance could not follow you here. Stay grounded, stay receptive, stay aligned. The war did not simply stop. It completed its purpose, and you emerged ready to carry what comes next with clarity, humility, and strength. Chosen one. There is a quiet but powerful recalibration happening inside you now, and it may feel unfamiliar because it does not come with pressure. For so long, movement was tied to urgency, decisions were tied to survival, and progress was tied to proving something. That system has been dismantled. What replaces it is discernment-led movement. This is where many people feel disoriented because they were trained by struggle to move fast, react quickly, and brace for impact. Peace asks you to slow down without losing momentum. It asks you to listen without hesitation. It asks you to trust alignment more than adrenaline. I had to learn this myself. When the chaos ended, I initially mistook the calm for stagnation until I realized clarity was finally audible because the noise had stopped. Chosen one, you are now in a phase where subtle choices carry amplified consequences. Not because you are under scrutiny, but because your influence has expanded. Influence does not always look like visibility. Sometimes it looks like weight. Your presence affects rooms now. Your words land differently. Your silence speaks. This is not something you need to announce. It will be recognized organically. That is why intentionality matters. Speak what you mean. Commit only where alignment is clear. Withdraw without guilt when peace withdraws. This is not selfishness, it is stewardship. There is also a shedding happening that deserves attention. Old habits that once felt comforting may now feel restrictive. Conversations that once felt familiar may now feel draining. You are not becoming distant, you are becoming precise. Precision is a sign of maturity, not isolation. I remember realizing that my tolerance for dysfunction decreased as my clarity increased. At first, I thought something was wrong with me. Later, I understood that discernment had sharpened. What you no longer have patience for is what no longer has permission. Chosen one, let go of the need to explain this transition to everyone. Not everyone needs a front row seat to your process. Some people only understood you in survival mode, and that version of you no longer exists. That does not make them wrong. It simply means their access belonged to a different season. Honor what was without dragging it forward. Alignment requires lightness. Excess weight slows momentum. You may notice that your intuition is more active now. Decisions feel clearer even when logic is incomplete. This is not impulsiveness, this is integration. Spirit, mind, and experience are beginning to move together instead of competing. Trust that integration. You have earned it through endurance. This is what wisdom feels like when it settles in the body, not just the mind. Chosen one, guard your peace with discernment, not fear. Fear guards by building walls. Discernment guards by choosing doors. You do not need to shut everything out. You need to let the right things in. Pay attention to what energizes you versus what depletes you. Energy is information. Heaven often communicates through what brings life and what drains it. Follow life. There will be moments when you are tempted to revisit old patterns simply because they are familiar. Resist that gently. Familiarity is not alignment. You have grown beyond certain cycles, and returning to them will feel uncomfortable for a reason. That discomfort is guidance, not condemnation. Let it redirect you forward. Chosen one, your rest now is strategic. Rest is not disengagement, it is integration. What you learned under pressure is settling into instinct. That takes stillness. Allow yourself to rest without guilt. Productivity driven by peace produces more fruit than effort driven by fear ever did. This is also a season to pay attention to small confirmations. A conversation that answers a question you did not ask. A delay that prevents a misstep. A connection that feels effortless. These are not coincidences. They are alignment signals. Heaven confirms direction quietly when trust is established. Chosen one, remain present. Do not rush to define the future. Let it reveal itself step by step. The clarity you seek is already unfolding at the pace required to sustain it. What matters now is not speed, but steadiness. You are no longer being tested for endurance. You are being trusted with consistency. And consistency, when aligned, compounds into outcomes that do not fade. Stay attentive. Stay grounded. Stay surrendered. This season does not require proving, it requires listening. Chosen one, as stability settles in, you may begin to sense a new kind of confidence rising, one that does not need validation or comparison. This confidence is quiet. It does not announce itself. It simply knows where it stands. That knowing is the result of surviving what once threatened to define you. When identity is forged through endurance, it no longer depends on external approval. This is the foundation for what comes next. Without it, influence becomes fragile. With it, influence becomes sustainable. There will be opportunities that arrive now which look ordinary on the surface but carry long-term significance. Do not underestimate simplicity. Heaven often packages expansion in familiar forms, so it can be stewarded without ego. Pay attention to what feels aligned, even if it looks small. Seeds rarely resemble harvests. I have learned that the most transformative doors often open quietly, asking for faith rather than excitement. Honor those doors. Chosen one. Your discernment will now be tested in subtler ways. Not through attack, but through options. Too many options can be as distracting as resistance. Choose depth over breadth. Choose what aligns with your values over what flatters your image. You are not meant to chase everything available. You are meant to steward what is assigned. Assignment always brings clarity, even when choices multiply. This is also a season where integrity must remain non-negotiable. Alignment brings opportunity, but integrity determines longevity. What you compromise to obtain will eventually require maintenance. What is received in alignment sustains itself. Stay true to your standards, even when shortcuts present themselves. Shortcuts cost more later. Chosen one, let your pace be deliberate. Momentum does not require haste. Haste often hides fear. You are not behind. You are on time. The war taught you endurance. Peace now teaches precision. Let that lesson take root. Decisions made from peace age better than decisions made from pressure. You may notice an increase in responsibility without an increase in stress. This is a sign of growth. Responsibility that overwhelms indicates misalignment. Responsibility that steadies indicates readiness. Trust yourself to handle what is being placed in your hands. You have been prepared more than you realize. Chosen one, remain teachable. Authority that listens stays sharp. Authority that assumes dulls quickly. There is always more to learn, even in confidence. Stay curious. Stay open. Wisdom flows to those who remain receptive. As you move forward, resist the urge to narrate your journey constantly. Let results speak. Let consistency build credibility. You do not need to defend your path. Alignment defends itself over time. There may be moments where solitude calls you again, not out of necessity, but out of refinement. Honor those moments. Solitude is where recalibration continues. It keeps your signal clear. It keeps your intentions pure. Chosen one. Remember that what you carry now is not just for you. Influence always has overflow. The peace you walk in will stabilize others. The clarity you carry will guide others. The consistency you model will inspire others. This is not pressure, it is purpose unfolding naturally. Do not shrink from this. Do not overthink it. Simply remain aligned. The war no longer defines you. The recovery no longer limits you. You are moving forward with wisdom earned, not borrowed. Let that wisdom lead quietly. Let it shape your decisions. Let it inform your rest. Stay present. Stay grateful. Stay aligned. What unfolds next will do so without strain because it is being built on a foundation that cannot be shaken. There is a moment that comes after long endurance where you realize you are no longer waiting for permission to move. That moment may feel subtle, almost quiet, but it carries authority. You stop asking whether you're allowed to step forward and start recognizing that you already have been entrusted. This is not arrogance. It is alignment settling into confidence. When the war was active, every move felt questioned, every step felt resisted. Now movement feels cleaner, lighter, and more intentional. That shift is not accidental. It is the natural result of refinement completing its work. Chosen one. One of the most important things to understand in this season is that peace does not mean the absence of challenge. It means the absence of intimidation. Challenges may still arise, but they no longer carry the power to destabilize you. They come as invitations to respond with wisdom rather than react with fear. I remember realizing that problems no longer felt personal. They became practical. That distinction changes everything. When pressure stops attacking your identity, it loses its authority over your direction. You may notice that your emotional responses are different now. What once triggered anxiety now triggers curiosity. What once caused frustration now invites strategy. This is growth. Emotional maturity is not numbness, it is regulation. It is the ability to feel deeply without being controlled by what you feel. That regulation is a sign that your nervous system is healing from prolonged stress. The war trained you to survive. Peace is training you to thrive. Chosen one. Your intuition is becoming quieter but more accurate. Early discernment often feels loud because it competes with fear. Mature discernment feels calm because fear no longer dominates. Trust that calm knowing. It may not come with explanation, but it will consistently lead you away from chaos and toward clarity. You do not need to justify it to everyone, just honor it. There will be moments where old fears attempt to resurface, especially when you step into something new. Do not interpret that as regression. Fear often shows up at thresholds, not because you're unready, but because you're stretching beyond what is familiar. Meet it with compassion, not resistance. Acknowledge it, then move forward anyway. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the refusal to let fear decide. My chosen one. Understand that this season values sustainability over intensity. You are not required to prove devotion through exhaustion. Rest is no longer something you earn, it is something you steward. When rest becomes intentional, clarity sharpens and creativity returns. Ideas may flow more easily now. Solutions may come during stillness rather than effort. Allow that. Some of your most effective moments will come when you are not trying to be effective. Pay attention to how your environment responds to your presence. People may open up more easily. Conversations may feel deeper. Conflict may resolve faster. This is not coincidence. Stability has influence. Peace regulates rooms. Without trying, you are modeling something others may not yet have language for. Let that influence remain natural. Do not manage it. Do not perform it. Simply be present. Chosen one, as momentum builds. Remember that alignment does not mean perfection. You will still make mistakes. You will still adjust. The difference now is that correction no longer feels like condemnation. It feels like guidance. When you misstep, you recover faster because your foundation is stable. That is progress. There may be times you feel a desire to rush ahead, especially when things begin to work smoothly. Resist that gently. Smooth movement is not an invitation to speed. It is an invitation to savor. Let things unfold fully. Let lessons complete themselves. What is built patiently lasts longer than what is built quickly. Chosen one, remain anchored in gratitude. Gratitude keeps perspective clear. It prevents entitlement and sustains humility. Each day you acknowledge peace, clarity, or provision, you reinforce alignment. Gratitude is not passive. It is participatory. It keeps you connected to the source rather than fixated on the outcome. As you move forward, continue to choose presence over projection. Be where you are. Listen fully. Respond thoughtfully. Your future is not asking you to chase it. It is unfolding as you remain aligned now. Trust that. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not recovering anymore. You are building from a place of stability earned through endurance. Let that truth settle deeply. The war is not shaping you now. Wisdom is. And wisdom, once rooted, continues to guide quietly, steadily, and effectively forward. Chosen one. There comes a phase after rebuilding where you realize you are no longer trying to recover your life. You are actively shaping it. This is a subtle but powerful distinction. Recovery looks backward even when it heals. Shaping looks forward even when it remembers. You may notice that your thoughts are no longer dominated by what went wrong, but by what is possible. That shift is not accidental. It is the evidence that your inner world has stabilized enough to hold vision without anxiety attached to it. Vision without anxiety is a sign of maturity. Chosen one. In this season, you are learning how to trust yourself again, not in a reckless way, but in a grounded, integrated way. During warfare, self-trust fractures because survival demands constant scanning for threat. Now that the threat has lifted, your instincts are recalibrating. You may pause more before deciding. You may feel less urgency to justify your choices. That is not hesitation. That is discernment reasserting itself. Trust that process. You are remembering how to move from alignment rather than defense. There is also an emotional honesty surfacing now that deserves attention. Feelings you suppressed to keep going may arise gently, not to overwhelm you, but to be acknowledged and released. This is not reopening wounds. It is closing them properly. I have learned that unprocessed strength eventually becomes rigidity, but processed strength becomes wisdom. Allow yourself to feel without assigning meaning to every emotion. Let feelings move through rather than define you. Emotional freedom is part of sustainable authority. Chosen one, as you step into shaping rather than surviving responsibility, will feel different. It will feel chosen rather than imposed. You may find yourself drawn to structure, rhythm, and intentional routines. This is not control, it is stewardship. Structure supports growth. Chaos drains it. Creating rhythms that support your body, mind, and spirit will multiply your capacity without exhausting you. Small, consistent practices will now carry more impact than dramatic gestures ever did. You may also notice that your patience has changed. You are less willing to force outcomes and more willing to let timing reveal itself. This patience is not passive, it is informed. You understand now that rushing distorts clarity. I remember learning that some doors open only when you stop pushing on them. Alignment often responds to readiness, not pressure. Let readiness be your focus rather than speed. Chosen one. Relationships will continue to adjust in this season. Some connections will deepen because they are rooted in mutual respect rather than shared struggle. Others may fade naturally because their bond was tied to survival rather than growth. Do not judge this. Do not cling to what is loosening. Evolution in relationships is a sign of personal integration. You are no longer defined by who helped you survive. You are defined by who aligns with who you are becoming. There is also a creative current moving through you now, even if you do not identify as creative. Creativity is not limited to art. It is problem-solving, vision-building, and the ability to see new pathways where none were visible before. When pressure subsides, creativity returns. You may feel drawn to ideas, projects, or expressions that once felt inaccessible. Pay attention to those nudges. They are not distractions. They are indicators of restored capacity. Chosen one, remain attentive to the quality of your inner dialogue. The way you speak to yourself now sets the tone for what you build. Replace urgency with intention. Replace self-criticism with self-observation. You are not here to judge yourself into growth. You're here to guide yourself forward with wisdom earned through experience. There may be moments when you reflect on the war and feel gratitude rather than pain. That is a sign of integration. When lessons no longer hurt, they begin to serve. Do not rush that reflection. Let it happen naturally. Your past no longer has authority over your present, but it does carry insight that can inform your future. Chosen one. Stay grounded in the present moment. Future vision is important, but presence is where alignment is maintained. Notice how your body feels. Notice when tension arises and release it. Notice when peace settles and honor it. Your body is part of your discernment system. It learned to endure. Now it is learning to regulate. You are not waiting for life to happen to you anymore. You are participating in it consciously. That participation is quiet, steady, and powerful. Let it unfold without force. Trust the pace. Trust the process. You are no longer proving that you can survive. You are demonstrating that you can sustain, build, and lead from alignment. That is the true evidence that the war is not just over, but complete. Chosen one. There is a deep settling that happens when a long season of tension finally releases its grip, and you may notice it most in the way you move through ordinary moments. You wake up with less heaviness in your chest. Decisions feel cleaner. You no longer replay conversations endlessly in your mind. This is not because life suddenly became simple, but because your inner world is no longer ruled by anticipation of threat. That shift is profound. It means your nervous system is learning a new rhythm, one guided by safety rather than survival. Safety does not mean comfort. It means stability, and stability is what allows vision to stay steady instead of reactive. Chosen one. This is the stage where many people unconsciously sabotage progress, not out of weakness, but out of habit. When struggle has been constant, peace can feel suspicious. The mind searches for problems because it was trained to scan for danger. If you notice yourself creating unnecessary urgency or questioning good things without reason, pause gently. Nothing is wrong. This is simply your system recalibrating. Instead of resisting that impulse, reassure yourself. You are allowed to experience calm without earning it through pain. There is also a new clarity forming around what truly matters to you. During warfare, priorities blur because everything feels urgent. Now urgency has quieted and values are emerging. You may feel less interested in proving yourself and more interested in living in alignment with what feels honest and sustainable. That is growth. You are no longer driven by reaction, but by intention. Intention builds outcomes that last. Chosen one. You may find yourself reflecting differently on past relationships, choices, and seasons. Where there was once regret, there may now be understanding. Where there was once blame, there may now be compassion. This does not mean you excuse what hurt you. It means you are no longer defined by it. When memory loses emotional charge, it becomes wisdom instead of weight. That transformation is one of the clearest signs of healing. As this integration deepens, your boundaries will become more natural. You will not need to explain them extensively or defend them aggressively. They will simply exist. People who are aligned will respect them. People who are not may drift away. Let that happen without interpretation. Boundaries are not walls, they are filters. They allow what nourishes you to remain and what depletes you to pass through. Chosen one. This is also a season of embodiment. What you have learned intellectually is settling physically. Your body may crave different routines, healthier rhythms, more rest, or more movement. Honor those signals. The body remembers stress long after the mind rationalizes it away. Treat your body as a partner in this transition, not an afterthought. Stability in the body supports clarity in the mind and sensitivity in the spirit. You may notice that your sense of time feels different now. The frantic urgency to catch up may have softened. You are less concerned with where you should be and more focused on where you are. Presence replaces pressure. This is not laziness, it is efficiency. When you are present, you waste less energy resisting reality and more energy shaping it wisely. Chosen one, do not underestimate the power of consistency in this season. Small actions repeated calmly will produce greater transformation than dramatic effort fueled by anxiety. Drink water. Sleep well. Speak honestly. Choose alignment in simple moments. These things may sound ordinary, but ordinary faithfulness creates extraordinary outcomes over time. There may be moments when you feel grief for the version of yourself that endured so much. Let that grief come without judgment. Grief does not negate growth. It honors what was survived. Acknowledge that part of you with tenderness. It carried you when nothing else could. Now it can rest. Chosen one. As you continue forward, your confidence will increasingly come from internal coherence rather than external validation. You will feel less compelled to explain yourself. Silence will feel less awkward. You will trust your timing without needing agreement from everyone around you. This confidence is quiet but firm. It does not dominate rooms, it stabilizes them. You may also sense a renewed capacity for joy, not excitement that spikes and crashes, but joy that is steady and grounded. This joy does not ignore reality. It coexists with it. It allows you to appreciate simple moments without guilt. That joy is not a distraction from purpose, it fuels it. Chosen. 1. Remain aware that alignment does not mean immunity from challenge. Challenges will still appear, but they will no longer define your identity or dictate your pace. You will meet them with discernment rather than dread. You will address them practically rather than emotionally. This is the fruit of everything you have endured. As your life continues to stabilize, opportunities may come that require you to trust this new version of yourself. Trust that you can say no when needed. Trust that you can say yes without overcommitting. Trust that you can pivot without panic. Trust that you can rest without losing momentum. These are not small shifts. They are evidence that the war shaped you, but no longer governs you. Chosen 1. Your story is no longer about survival. It is about stewardship. Stewardship of peace. Stewardship of clarity. Stewardship of time, energy, and influence. Stewardship does not demand perfection. It asks for presence, humility, and willingness to adjust. Stay grounded, stay present, stay honest with yourself. What you are building now is not fragile. It is rooted in endurance, shaped by wisdom, and sustained by alignment. You do not need to rush this season. You are not behind. You are exactly where growth can finally become sustainable. The war did not just end so you could rest. It ended so you could live differently. And you're already doing that one steady, intentional step at a time. Chosen 1, there is a stage of healing and elevation that feels less dramatic than the breakthrough moments people talk about, yet it is far more powerful. It is the stage where your inner life finally catches up to what heaven has already settled in the unseen. Nothing explodes. Nothing announces itself. Instead, you begin to live differently without trying. Your reactions soften. Your focus sharpens. Your decisions feel quieter but more certain. This is the evidence that alignment has moved from belief into embodiment. You are no longer convincing yourself that the war is over. You are living as if it truly is. Chosen 1. You may notice that your relationship with effort has changed. You are still committed, still disciplined, still intentional, but there is less strain attached to your actions. You no longer push from fear of falling behind. You move from clarity. This is not laziness and it is not complacency. It is efficiency born from wisdom. When effort is no longer driven by anxiety, it becomes sustainable. What once exhausted you now feels manageable because your energy is no longer leaking through worry, self-doubt, or over-explanation. There is also a deep internal honesty emerging. You are more aware of what you genuinely want, not what you were conditioned to pursue. During survival seasons, desire is often suppressed in favor of endurance. Now desire resurfaces not as craving but as direction. You may find yourself drawn towards simplicity, depth, and meaning rather than noise, validation, or urgency. That shift is not accidental. It is your values realigning now that fear no longer dominates your choices. Chosen 1. This is the phase where you learn to trust rest as much as action. Rest is no longer something you do only when exhausted. It becomes part of your rhythm. You begin to understand that rest sharpens discernment and preserves clarity. I learned this only after ignoring it for too long. I thought stopping meant losing momentum until I realized stopping was the very thing that allowed me to move forward with precision instead of force. Rest does not slow destiny. It stabilizes it. You may also become more sensitive to internal dissonance. Situations that once felt tolerable may now feel subtly wrong. This is not intolerance. It is alignment refining itself. When you were surviving, you adapted to misalignment out of necessity. Now necessity has lifted, and your system is free to signal what no longer fits. Pay attention to those signals. They are not inconveniences. They are guidance. Chosen one, your discernment is now operating from a deeper place. It is not reacting to threat. It is recognizing resonance. You can sense when something aligns without needing to analyze it excessively. At the same time, you can sense when something is off, even if it looks good on the surface. Trust this. Discernment does not always come with explanation. Sometimes it arrives as a quiet no or a calm hesitation. You do not need to override that to appear agreeable or flexible. Flexibility without alignment leads to drift. There may be moments where you feel detached from the urgency that drives others. You might watch people rush, strive, or panic and feel oddly calm. This does not mean you are disengaged. It means you are regulated. Regulation allows you to remain present without absorbing chaos. This is a gift, but it requires stewardship. Do not let guilt convince you to re-enter urgency just to match the pace of others. Your pace is now set by alignment, not comparison. Chosen one. Something else is shifting that deserves acknowledgement. Your sense of identity is stabilizing. You are less defined by roles, achievements, or outcomes. You are more grounded in who you are regardless of circumstances. That grounding creates resilience that does not fluctuate with success or challenge. When identity is stable, feedback becomes information rather than threat. Correction becomes refinement rather than rejection. This is emotional maturity taking root. As this stability deepens, you may feel called to simplify. Simplify schedules, simplify commitments, simplify expectations. Simplification is not reduction for the sake of minimalism. It is clarity through subtraction. When excess is removed, what remains becomes more powerful. I have learned that clarity often arrives not by adding more answers, but by removing distractions. Let simplicity serve you here. Chosen one. Your capacity to hold responsibility is increasing, but responsibility now feels different. It does not weigh on you the same way. You are not carrying everything alone. You are prioritizing what is yours to carry and releasing what is not. This discernment protects you from burnout and resentment. Responsibility accepted in alignment feels purposeful. Responsibility accepted out of obligation drains quickly. There may be moments when old narratives try to resurface, stories about who you used to be, what you struggled with, or what you barely survived. Those stories no longer hold authority over you, but they may still seek attention. When they arise, acknowledge them without re-entering them. You are not erasing your past. You are placing it in its proper position. It informs you, but it does not lead you. Chosen one. The way you experience time is continuing to change. You are less rushed, less impatient, and less concerned with proving progress. You understand now that growth compounds quietly. This patience is not passive. It is confident. Confident patience knows that what is aligned cannot miss its moment. You are no longer chasing timing. You are honoring it. You may also feel a renewed desire to contribute meaningfully, not from obligation, but from overflow. When your inner world stabilizes, generosity becomes natural. This generosity may show up as encouragement, presence, insight, or support. Let it flow organically. You are not responsible for saving others. You are responsible for remaining aligned. Alignment itself is generous. Chosen one, continue to observe how your body responds to your life now. Notice where tension dissolves more quickly. Notice where energy returns faster after rest. These are signs that integration is deepening. Your body is learning that it is safe to release chronic alertness. Healing often shows up as neutrality before it shows up as joy. Neutrality is peace in its early form. As you move forward, remain attentive to the quality of your commitments. Choose what aligns with your values, not what feeds your ego. Ego seeks validation. Alignment seeks coherence. Coherence is what allows you to move forward without fragmentation. Chosen one. You are no longer navigating from wounds. You are navigating from wisdom shaped by experience. This does not make you superior to others. It makes you responsible for how you use what you have learned. Lead with humility. Lead with clarity. Lead with consistency. There is nothing you need to rush in this season, nothing you need to prove, nothing you need to force. What is unfolding now is built on a foundation that cannot be shaken because it was forged through endurance and refined through surrender. Remain present, remain honest, remain aligned. You are not recovering anymore. You are living from a place of integration, and that is where sustainable purpose quietly thrives. Chosen one. There is a calm confidence forming now that does not ask for permission and does not demand proof. It simply knows. This knowing is not loud, and it does not rush to be seen. It settles into your posture, your choices, and the way you carry yourself through ordinary moments. You are no longer measuring your life by how much effort you expend, but by how aligned you remain while moving. That shift is subtle, yet it changes everything. When alignment becomes the measure, pressure loses its leverage, and comparison fades into irrelevance. Chosen one, you may notice that your attention is becoming more selective. You are less drawn to noise, drama, and constant stimulation. This is not withdrawal, it is refinement. Your focus is learning to rest on what nourishes rather than what distracts. In the past, intensity may have felt like purpose. Now purpose feels quieter and more grounded. It does not need urgency to validate it. It simply unfolds when you stay present and responsive. There is also a new relationship forming between you and uncertainty. Where uncertainty once triggered anxiety, it now invites curiosity. You are learning that not knowing everything does not mean you are unprepared. It means there is room for guidance to arrive in real time. This openness keeps you flexible without becoming unstable. Flexibility rooted in clarity allows you to adapt without losing yourself. That balance is rare, and it is being cultivated within you now. Chosen one, your emotional landscape is continuing to even out. Highs are steadier. Lows are less consuming. This does not mean you feel less. It means feelings no longer dictate your direction. Emotional maturity allows you to experience fully without being carried away. When emotions inform rather than command, wisdom has room to lead. This is not something you force. It emerges naturally as integration deepens. You may also feel a growing respect for your own limits. Limits no longer feel like failure. They feel like wisdom. Knowing when to stop, when to pause, and when to step back is part of stewardship. Burnout is not a badge of honor. Sustainability is. Choosing rest before exhaustion is not weakness. It is foresight. Your body, mind, and spirit are learning to work together rather than compete. Chosen one, as this harmony increases, you may find that your communication changes. You say less, but what you say carries more clarity. You listen more deeply without needing to fix or respond immediately. Silence no longer feels awkward. It feels intentional. This presence creates space for others to show up more honestly around you. Without effort, you become a stabilizing presence. That influence is not something you perform. It is a byproduct of alignment. There will be moments when old expectations try to resurface. Expectations about where you should be, what you should have accomplished, or how your life should look by now. When those thoughts arise, meet them gently. They belong to an older framework that measured worth by outcomes rather than coherence. You are no longer living by that framework. You are living by alignment, and alignment honors timing over appearance. Chosen one, you are also learning to trust the pace of your own growth. Growth does not need to be dramatic to be meaningful. Some of the most profound changes happen quietly over time through consistency rather than intensity. Each aligned choice reinforces stability. Each moment of presence strengthens clarity. Over time, these small moments compound into a life that feels solid rather than fragile. There is a deeper sense of ownership emerging now. Ownership not in a controlling sense, but in a grounded sense. You take responsibility for your energy, your boundaries, and your choices without self-punishment. You adjust without shame. You correct without self-attack. This self-leadership is evidence of maturity. When you lead yourself with compassion and clarity, external leadership becomes a natural extension rather than a burden. Chosen one, your relationship with success is also changing. Success no longer feels like a destination you chase. It feels like a state you cultivate. When alignment is present, success shows up in ways that feel sustainable and integrated. It may not always look impressive from the outside, but it feels stable on the inside. Stability is often invisible until it is missing. You are learning to value it while you have it. You may notice that gratitude flows more easily now, not because everything is perfect, but because you recognize what is steady. Gratitude rooted in awareness strengthens presence. It keeps your attention anchored in what is real rather than what is lacking. This gratitude is quiet, consistent, and grounding. It reinforces trust without needing constant affirmation. Chosen one, remain mindful of the simplicity available to you now. You do not need to complicate your life to make it meaningful. Meaning grows where honesty, presence, and alignment are practiced daily. Allow yourself to enjoy ordinary moments without rushing past them. Enjoyment is not a distraction from purpose. It is a sign that purpose has integrated into life rather than standing apart from it. As you continue forward, keep choosing coherence over chaos, presence over pressure, and alignment over appearance. You are not waiting for life to begin. You are living it from a place of stability that was hard-won and deeply earned. Nothing needs to be forced now. What belongs will arrive through consistency and clarity. Stay grounded, stay honest, stay aligned. This is how the next layer of your life continues to unfold quietly, steadily, and with depth. Chosen one, as this word comes to rest in your spirit, receive the stillness that follows divine victory. What you felt during this message was not emotion alone. It was confirmation. Heaven has already moved, the war has already ended, and a supernatural transfer is already in motion over your life. You are standing in a kairos moment, a precise intersection of timing and purpose, where what was delayed is now being released, and what was resisted is now yielding. Anointed one, let your heart remain open and your posture remain grateful. Do not rush ahead in fear or look back in doubt. Stay aligned with what God is doing now. The peace you feel is not an ending, it is a commissioning. The clarity settling in you is not temporary, it is preparation. Walk forward, knowing that heaven has gone before you and grace is surrounding you on every side. If your spirit bears witness to this word, allow yourself a quiet response. You may type attack in the comments as a sacred sign of agreement, or simply pause and give thanks. Share this message gently with someone who needs hope, not as promotion, but as obedience. And if you feel led, remain connected so you do not miss what heaven continues to unfold. Chosen one, walk in authority. Walk in humility. Walk in gratitude. The warfare season has ended. Your victory season is already unfolding.